Okay, so tap into your power, fearlessness, groundedness, courage, balance. Feeling safe through strength, and that assertiveness and confidence is all what we're going to need. So let's start as we always start. Just a very, very, very quick check-in with the body, intention setting. We're going to do an interesting kind of warm-up. Doing a traditional sun salutation I find sometimes can be quite strong, and I like to mix it up a little bit. And we are going to be working a lot today on the power in the legs and a little bit of twisting of the core. When we work on our core, we are working on this sense of resilience and agency and power and the twisting. Okay, that's really, really important. And we will be doing some knee dips, and we will be doing some strong balance work for focus and presence. So be careful. If you need a chair or a wall, grab one, okay? We will be finishing off with some deep psoas release. Now your psoas, just underneath your diaphragm, and it's your hip flexor, very powerful muscle that is used in the fight-flight response. We're getting all that energy out there into the thighs, so it's very thigh orientated. When we notice, when we engage and disengage our thigh muscles, it really helps us to stay grounded and supported and feel the sense of what's holding us up and helps to empower. So that's what we're going to do. Okay then, so let's start on the floor. You can start in child's pose or in crocodile, whatever feels good for you. So if this feels uncomfortable, knees wide, big toes to touch, or knees together with your hips coming back, okay, now coming into this position, you might feel better laying on your front in crocodile, making a pillow with your hands. Whatever feels nice. This is a nice position to do also as well in Shavasana at the end. If you may feel triggered, you may have anxiety or PTSD, and you feel laying on your back feels a little bit too exposed. So this one is a nice one. I'm going to stay into child's pose. Child's pose is a very calming and reflective pose. You're bringing your attention inwards and allows you to focus on sensations. So let's focus on the somatics. That's what we need to do. Okay, so wherever you are today, okay, wherever you want to be, obviously I'm just going to try and keep, instead of being like this, okay, make a pillow with your hands up, put a block underneath your head. Innervates that nervous system, which releases the stress response. I'm going to keep looking at the camera for you because I feel as though I need to engage while you get into the pose. Okay, so let's check in with where we are right here, right now. So we're doing it with non-judgmental curiosity and a tender-hearted, open exploration. So we're not trying to change or fix anything. We're just looking for a snapshot. So are we to bring the spotlight of attention into the body and just scan the body from top to bottom and noticing anything at all, any sensations of stiffness, tightness or discomfort, closeness, numbness, even heat. So important that we notice and listen to our body, because that's self-care. It stops us from pushing through for burnout, fatigue. So just notice what's happening right here, right now. Checking in. And then when you're ready, bring your attention to your mind. What does the quality of your mind speak today? Just a snapshot, not looking for reasons why or judging. Checking with the heart, your emotional centre again, with that same curiosity and kindness. And then noticing your breath. Notice the quality of your breathing. So let's see if we can come into our centre. Your centre is your sense of agency and power and control. You take control of yourself regardless of what's going on out there. So if it's short and shallow and up into the chest, see if you can be aware with conscious breathing deep down into the abdomen, as if there's a balloon just behind your belly button. And smooth, deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Lovely. So while now that we've checked in with our heart, our mind, our body and our breath, let's set an intention, a wish for your own well-being. It can be pushing through a roadblock that you've noticed through this little bit of an awareness scan of your crochets that you've just done. Do you want to flip the script? What is the roadblock that you want to get through today? Make it into a short positive statement, begin with I am. And when you're ready, okay, let's try this depending on how you feel. Everything is optional and always come into child's pose when you're too tired, or just relax and pull back. Okay, so if you want to use blocks, if your wrists are feeling tender, please do. Or you can roll a blanket underneath the heel of the palm. So let's come into our tabletop position and let's start to mobilise the spine. So adrenal fatigue, working with the kidneys and the adrenals just above the kidneys, it's a very good thing to do when we're doing cat-cow. So let's do a little bit of cat-cow. So we push the ground away from us, we stack our joints, and inhale, belly down, head up into cow, and exhale, push through the shoulder blades and push the ground away. So really focus on that sensation. We're really going to try and focus on the core and the ground. Can you notice what's happening with your abdomen? And make the movement smooth and fluid like a breath. Again, we're trying to move with rhythm, getting out of our heads into our bodies. Just go at your own pace and do what feels nice for you. Just mobilising that spine, bringing that light attention into the abdomen, nice, strong core, and also, working the adrenal gland above the kidneys. That's where our stress or cortisol comes from. So if you've got chronic fatigue or tiredness, this one's a nice one. Okay, and then come to a neutral position, spine long, okay. And then what we're going to do then is we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to take lift. I'm going to lift opposite arm and leg. So lift, I'm going to lift my right leg, try to keep my hips level and flex my feet towards the floor. And then lift my opposite arm, really pull that core in nice and strong, push the ground away from you. And here comes the challenge. Very, very slowly on the exhale, take your arm out to the side and your leg out to the side and hold for 3, 2 and 1. Inhale back to centre and exhale, release. Now if you want to push yourself back into Charles, please do. And then when you're ready, inhale, come all the way back up. Let's do that the opposite side. So, I'm lifting my left leg, trying to keep my hips level, push the ground away, strong core, toes to the floor, okay, opposite arm, keep that chest lifted, spine long, and then take it out to the side. Ooh, and then what happens? The wall gets in the way. Hold for 3, 2 and 1. Inhale back and release. Push back into child's. This is going to be a sweaty one, so keep an eye on it. Always modify if necessary. You don't have to do everything, and you can always push back. Inhale to come back up. Push the ground away. Stack your joints. You can put a block on your hips if you want for a little bit of feedback. It's up to you. We're going to do some nice glute and hamstring strengtheners. Really important there. So we're just going to lift that leg and bring it to the thigh parallel to the floor. Flex your foot, and then we're just going to pulse the knee up and down. Are we ready? Off we go. Inhale up, exhale down. 1, 2. Pull that core in nice and strong. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then release. If you want to go back into child's, push it back again. We're going to be working really, really strongly today. This is going to make you feel like you've kicked ass like Grace Jones, but without a hula hoop. Inhale, come all the way back up, push the ground away. Strong core, spine long, chest lifting through the arms, and lift. So we're pulsing again. 10, 1, 2, 3. Press with the heel up rather than the toes. 4, 5. Squeeze them glutes. 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 and release. Well done, that was beautiful. Okay, so that's nice and strong. Working on the glutes, working on the hamstrings. Your hamstrings are your fight or flight response. Playing that tension there between squeeze and release. Lovely. So let's work. This is going to be our warm-up sequence. So we're going to start in child's pose. Okay, with our knees together. Then we're going to inhale to come up into Thunderbolt pose. Lovely. And then exhale, we're going to come all the way down, cross our palms behind our sacrum, behind our back. Lovely. And then inhale up again. Lift and lengthen, tuck those lower ribs in, spine long, really feel the contact between your shins and the floor. And exhale, fold in the opposite direction as you cross your palms. And inhale up. Breathe and lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. And then come all the way down again. Okay, and then on the inhale, we're going to come into cow. Lovely. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. Okay, and push ourselves back like this into puppy pose. Or with your feet hip distance apart and your wide jazz hands, press your upper thighs and your hips up and back and come into downward facing dog. Knees bent, belly towards thighs. Rotate your palms out slightly to feel the space between the shoulder blades. Lovely. Okay, and then you're going to, so you've exhale, inhale, drop down to tabletop, push the ground away. Really keep that spine core nice and strong. Really feel the contact with the floor. Take your leg out to the side so that your hip, ankle parallel to each other. Nice. And then we're going to take the same arm to the leg out the side as if we're doing gate pose. Inhale, really twist and lengthen. Feel that twist from the belly button. Okay, and then exhale, scoop underneath the arm. Feel that stretch in that inner thigh. Make sure that knee's underneath the hip. You can take it out as wide as possible. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. Let's flow and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. And then let's come back to centre. Okie dokie. And then push back. Make sure that knee push. You can push back. You can tuck the toes under and come into this deep half child's pose, inner thigh stretch. We're doing a lot of stretching today. So really notice the difference between squeeze and release on that thigh. Lovely. Now we're going to do, and then come all the way back. So we're going to do that on the opposite side. Okay. Exhale, push back into child's. Inhale up and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, push into the knees. Exhale, fold. Opposite hands on top of each other. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. And then on the inhale, come into cow. Tabletop, head up, belly down. Cow pose. Okay. Choice to push your hips back towards your heels or tuck your toes under. Chest towards thighs. Hips pushing back and your thighs pushing back. Make sure your feet and your hands are hip distance apart and you spread your fingers wide. Come into downward facing dog. If you're rolling over your wrists, bend your knees, belly towards thighs. Nice. So, there we go. Then, inhale, drop your knees. Come into tabletop, push the ground away, strong core. Then we need to do the opposite side. Take that leg out to the side, toes facing forward, heel in line. Make sure this knee's underneath here. Lovely. So inhale up and exhale, rotate. So we're threading our needle. Inhale up. We're doing some nice light tension today on the adrenals and the kidneys. Really working that spine in the rotation. And exhale down. Feeling our core and our centre of our being, our sense of agency. And exhale down. Inhale up. And, oh, that was a nice crack. Exhale down. And then pushing back into half gate, half child's. Feeling that inner thigh stretch. Tucking toes under or foot, top of foot flat to the floor. Feel that deep inner thigh stretch. Nice. And in, see if you can come back and exhale, come back into child's. Beautiful. Now we're going to take this now into a standing sequence. So you will need a block by the side of you because it's going to be dropped, and we're going to do some knee dips, but if you've got bad knees, don't do them. So this is going to be a very, very empowering practice. So start in child's pose, lovely. Then inhale to come, take your arms up, lovely. And then exhale, come into low lunge Anjanasana. Keep that knee, hug muscle to bone as if you're pulling front foot and front knee, front foot back, front knee forward. Nice and strong, shoulders over hips. Okay, low lunge. Okay, this is how we're getting ready for our sequence. Knee over ankle, hips facing forward. Inhale up, lengthen, lengthen, tuck in those low ribs, place your hand there, make sure they're not popping out. And then exhale, come into your arrowhead, so you're coming into an angle with your neck in line with your spine. Lovely. This arrowhead working your core. Now, tuck your back toe underneath you. And then on the inhale, you're going to take your arms up as you power up into the back leg. Feel that strength into that back leg, making sure your hips are square, knee is over that, bent over that front angle, and you're inhaling and taking everything up. Now, we're going to stay here and hold for 5. Okay, you can hold for 5, or maybe even go into your arrowhead, working that core, really press into the front and front foot, feel that power in your legs, or you can do it with me, fists of fire, knee dips. This is the strong bit. Okay, so either hold the pose or exhale, drop your knee onto the block, and then inhale, power up, lift and lengthen. Exhale, drop down, fists coming by the side of your waist. Inhale, lift up. Okay, exhale, keep that focus, keep the shoulders over the hips. Inhale, whew. Exhale, inhale, one last time, drop down, exhale, and inhale. This is really about thinking about, really feel the notice between the disengagement and engagement, the power in the thighs. Lovely. Now, you're in high lunge, your chest is over your shoulders, everything's square, and you're feeling powerful. We're going to now come into crane. So place your hands at hand centre, look at a spot in the front of you, and then the inhale, you're going to push, and you're going to lift up and balance on your left foot with your leg, okay, at 90 degrees, and you'll see if you can hold this pose. This is called crane. Hold for 5, strong leg, power, feel that power in the leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Whew, that's a strong one. So really what we're doing is I want you to really notice the difference between the engagement and the disengagement, the power in the legs and the thighs. This is your grounding, this is your centre, this is your power. This is getting you really into that fearful place, especially with the fists of fire. So what are we doing now? Okay, we're going to do standing pigeon. You've got 2 options here. With standing pigeon, okay, you are bending your knee and you're placing one foot, your ankle on top. Now if this is too much, coming into standing pigeon like this, where you're actually almost, you're in chair pose with a hip opener, balancing and controlling, okay, instead have your big toes together, heels slightly wide, slightly 1 inch apart, take your hips back, keep your chest lifted, tilt your front pelvis up towards your head and hold in chair pose and do reactive lifts. So as you inhale, lift your heels and then exhale, drop your heels and lift your arms up. Otherwise, come into standing pigeon. Okay, right, so you either do reactive chair, inhale, so you're coming up onto your tiptoes and then dropping your heels with your arms. So as we come into reactive chair, okay, this one's going to be hard. Listen very, very carefully. Reactive chair, okay, lift that leg and then tap it behind you, like so. Keep this knee bent, okay, inhale, put it back. Okay, this is really hard. then tap it behind you as if you're doing a curtsy, okay? And then put it back onto your pigeon, and then wherever you are, if you're in reactive chair, place your hands into prayer position and inhale, release. Now, let's check in with our mental and physical states. Left arm on heart, right hand on belly. Come into your mountain pose, strong. Pray, feel the feet against the floor. Just notice sensations, tensions, heartbeat, energy. Your breath, come back to that deep inhale and exhale in through the nose. Just noticing where you are, checking in once again with our body, our mind, emotions. Wonderful, well done. So that's really, really challenging, so well done for you there then. So, coming, feet hip distance of heart, place your hands on your hip crease. We're just going to come into ragdoll, and then take your hips back, bend at your hip crease, bend your knees as much so you can place your belly on your thigh, grab opposite elbow, and come into this deep introspective pose, this inversion, moving into until you feel that stretch into the hamstrings, and just let your head go heavy. And just again check in with your mental and physical states and just notice how you are. So if you've noticed that you're a little bit short of breath, you just say to yourself, yeah, I'm going to ease back, I'm listening to my body, I'm not pushing myself too far. Drop my hands on the floor, let's come back down again. We're going to do the opposite side, folks, so it's going to be a different side now. So come all the way back into child's pose. Whew. And then just come all the way down. Whew. And just relax a little moment there. Fantastic. Okay then, so we're going to come and do that the opposite side. Nice big inhale, take it all the way up. Okay, and exhale, take your front knee forward. Okay, perfect. So we're going to come into knee over ankle, shoulders over hips, square your hips forward. Inhale, take your arms up, and then come into your arrowhead, plain arms. Take your arms forward, 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 forward. There you go. Keep that knee over that, press down into that foot. So you've got working that core strength, your sense of agency. Tuck that back toe under, and you're ready to go. Don't forget you need that block to go under there soon. And you're going to lift that back leg up, straighten it, push down into the ball of the back foot, knee over ankle, everything square, shoulders over hips. Okay, so you've got two options. You come into your arrowhead, your plain arms, and you hold there with your core, or you come into fist of fire knee dips. Okay, so nice big inhale. Okay, exhale, pull your fists towards you as you drop your knee onto the block. Don't do this if your knees are very, very tender. Inhale up, power up, feel the pulse, feel that engagement in the thigh muscles. Exhale down. Okay, brilliant. Inhale up, lift and lengthen. Exhale down, power up. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. Oh, feel the thigh burn, feel the power in your legs. Exhale down. Whew. And then inhale up for the last time, and then get ready for your crane. So come forward onto this front leg. Whew. So standing crane, wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyake. So this leg is at a 90 degree, flex your foot, push your hips forward, see if you can keep your hips level and stable, and see if you can hold for 5. Look at a spot on the floor in front of you. It's sort of half dancer's pose, but dancer's pose, I don't like it, it's really hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release, wiggle those hips. So we're going to go for standing pigeon. Obviously I did it on the opposite leg to when I was doing the front leg at the front. So we're going to go for standing pigeon, or you're at reactive chair. So if you're doing reactive chair, remember what you're doing? You're coming into chair pose, knees not going past the toes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come onto your tippy toes. Just keep going backwards and forwards while everybody else does standing pigeon. Or if you prefer, have a little go at both. You might want to try. Okay, so coming into standing pigeon, strong, powerful leg. This standing leg is bent with the ankle just above the knee. Your chest is lifted and your spine's long. You're not going to collapse forward and curve your spine. Okay, this is a deep hip opener in standing pigeon. So here we go. So inhale, lift that knee up to a 90 degrees. Exhale, baby curtsy. Okay, standing pigeon. Nice. Inhale, lift that leg up. Exhale, drop it down. Standing curtsy. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, standing pigeon. One last time. Inhale up. Woo! And exhale, standing pigeon. And then if you're in chair pose, inhale up and release and wiggle your hips because it gets right into that glute medius. You can feel it right in the glute medius at the side there. It's a powerful, deep pose. Whew. Definitely is a strong one, that one, isn't it? Okay then, so let's come into, our checking in again. So how do we do our mountain pose? Press your big toe down, pull your pinky toes back, lift the arches of your feet, pull your quads up towards your hips, tilt your tailbone up and relax upper body, shoulder blades down. Left hand on heart, right heart on belly. And just check in with your mental and physical states and reacquaint yourself with that deep, deep belly, conscious breathing of yoga, connecting mind, body and breath. And just stabilise and bring ourselves back. This is the mindful bit. We're just keeping to checking in with how we are, so we're looking after ourselves. And you want to let go through your mouth. If you want to exhale, do it. Just do it. Okay, so take your feet hip distance apart, parallel lateral tracks, coming into, hips back, bend your knees as much as you can, belly onto thighs, grab opposite elbow, tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling. I like to put my thumbs in the hip crease, push my hip crease up and back till I feel myself moving into that stretch and bringing that light attention to the hamstrings, heavy head. And just relax here and let the whole body dangle. Maybe nod your head yes, nod your head no. And just feel all that tension going out of the neck and into this and dropping out the spine and feel that extension in between the vertebrae. Oh, and then, would you believe it, it's ready for the floor. We're coming for our deep psoas release today. This is why we need something to go underneath the hips. So let's start with releasing the psoas before we go into our deep work. This will involve quite a bit of stretching, everyone. Your psoas muscle is your fight or flight muscle, but it gets not exactly shortened, but prolonged over sitting, and we're doing a lot of that working from home, can have quite a profound effect upon the psoas muscle. It pulls us forward and then we get quite kyphotic, and then when we get what the awful term, I can't stand it, we've got the widow's hump. Okay, so bring your feet to the edges of the mat with your knees bent and take your arms into cactus arms so your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And then we'll just gently warm up the psoas before we get it into a position where we can get it nicely dealt with. Now, so drop your knees towards all the way to one side. Keep your shoulder blades glued to the floor on the exhale. Inhale to centre and then drop it all the way over to the left. So we've had a bit of a sweaty, sort of powery, sort of 20-25 minutes there. And we don't want to get too hot in this weather. Pitta dosha. I'm a pitta dosha. Too much pitta, it sets off my arthritis. Way. Pitta dosha means I'm just ginger, fiery, and I get angry. Way. And if you know me, I'm a combustible bird, you know. According to Greek legend, as gingers, when we die, we turn into vampires. I'm not surprised. And just drop them, just let them swing from side to side. Exhale, dropping the knees from side to side. This is what you need your block for. So bring your knees up to centre. You will need a block, two settings. Either have it on this setting underneath the sacrum or that setting underneath the sacrum, So with your knees bent, like so. Whichever feels okay for you. So, What I'm going to do is I'm keeping both my knees bent and I'm going to lift this leg here, flex the foot, and I'm going to pull it in towards my chest on the exhale. Okay, pull it in, and then I'm going to straighten out, okay, the opposite leg. Now, straighten out the opposite leg, so I'm really dealing with stretching, and then really pull with that exhale, really pull that knee in towards your armpit, so you get that deep, deep stretch into the psoas. And see if you can take 5 super deep breaths, big inhales, and really breathe it out through your mouth. The higher the block is, the more psoas stretch you're going to get. Okay? And then release, and then we're going to swap the opposite side. So, knees both bent, exhale, bring the opposite knee in towards your chest, okay, and then straighten out that other leg as much as it feels comfortable. Really pull that knee in towards your chest, and big, flex both your feet, big inhale through the nose. This deep belly breathing is massaging the diaphragm and your vagus nerve, which is your fight or flight stress response. Nice. And then we're going to come into the deep, much deep psoas stretch. So what you're going to try and do is, you're going to try and straighten out both legs and feel that this block is right underneath your sacrum, not on your bum cheeks. And then really, 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 really feel that stretch across the abdomen here and deep into the thigh muscles. Okay, so you're coming into that deep, 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 deep stretch. Oh, God, I can really feel that stretch. It's in your iliopsoas. So you've got your iliacus muscles, which is in your pelvis, and your psoas are attached to each other. So combined together, iliopsoas is also to do with your hip stability, and we've done a little bit of hip opening, and we're going to keep working on that now. Lovely. So, okay, let's pull our knees in, okay, and drop the block, and just gently lower your hips into the block, and just allow your knees to come together, just to settle the sacrum and that lower back, because it may feel a little bit tense from actually doing that deep stretch there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep working on this. We're going to come into frog and sphinx, which is a deep stretch. Okay, so a sphinx, you're coming into a back bend. Wahee! So laying on your front, nice. Just come into your front, right, so. Oh, and we all know what sphinx is, because we've done it quite a lot of times. I'm just going to take my feet to the corner of the mat. And my elbows, measure them out, so my elbows are exactly my forehand width apart, and they're parallel like train tracks. And I've got nice jazz hands, okay, and you don't collapse, so you wear your pat butchers, shoulders as earrings. Pat, you can't wear your earrings like that. Remember when Run Around, what's his name, when he dumped her at the doorstep because he said he never acted with earrings. So push your forearm and your front pelvis into the floor as you lift and separate your ears away from your shoulders. Okay, and then what you're going to do is, this leg is going to come out at making a 90-degree angle, and you really, really push yourself so you're not collapsing. Really feel that stretch. So you're in a half frog, half sphinx. Okay, if you can do it with both legs, well done to you. You're brilliant. Putting both legs into the same position. If it feels uncomfortable, put something underneath that knee. Okay, and really push. You've been pushing your hips into the floor, you're pushing your forearms into the floor, and you're lengthening your spine. If you're feeling any pinching in the lower back, it's because you're not pushing your hips into the floor. This is a deep, deep, deep stretch. Okay, and then very, very slowly release. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and then just push back into child's pose, just to give that counter position on the exhale. Knees wide or knees to touch. Whoa. Oh, I'm right feeling it there. Yes, I know. Oh. It's a bit of a strong class today, folks. Power me up. Woo. Okay, so let's do that on the opposite side. Always remember, if it feels uncomfortable, don't do it. Know what Pauline Carve says? Pauline Carve says, if you like it, do it. If you don't like it, do it as well. Sorry. Pauline Carve is my favourite character by Steve Coogan, by the way. He dresses up, he's a man, Kewney and Lasser works in chemist. You know, knows a man who works in John Menzies, looks like Patrick Swayze, got an orthopaedic show. Okay, so you've got your other leg into your half frog, so it's like a 90-degree angle with your knee in line with your hip. Flex your foot and elbows underneath your shoulders and really press your hips and your forearms into the floor and push and separate. So you're not, try and keep your chin parallel to the floor. Oof. And then just Paul Calf, which is Paul and Calf's sister. You know, he likes Man City, he likes football, he likes life. Okay, and really push the ground away from you in this deep stretch. Oof, feel it. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, yes. Oh, I like to squeeze my glute of my straight leg. Just gives me that little bit of release. I like a good glute squeeze. Oof. And then come all the way down, bring your knees together, come to child's pose, knees wide or knees to touch. Oh, you know when when it's warm weather and you've got cranky hips, because your cranky hips just cry out, don't they? It's like, what you doing? Stop stretching me. It's like, don't. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, now we're going to come into bound angle. So we're going to come into a deep inner thigh or outer thigh stretch. So if you've got IT bandy shoes, cycling or running, you've got your two options. If you make a diamond as opposed to a triangle, you are working on the tension fasciae lata and the IT band, which, if that goes a bit wonky donkey, it can cause lots of knee problems. I know from my own. And if you want a block, have a block. Okay, so you can make it into a slightly yin-yo style pose. So I've made a diamond there, and my feet are touching. Okay, nice big inhale. Forward the flat back, leading with your heart from your hip crease, and only go as far as you'll go. Trying to round your back, just nice neck in line with the spine. Sometimes I like to prop myself up, and I'm like this. Just relax. You'll feel the stretch in the outer hip. I'm joking. Oh, deep hip stretch. Oof. I call that the ick stretch. Okay, with the TFL-IT band, it always makes me go. Okay, bring your heels close to your hips now, so you get the inner thigh stretch as opposed to the outer thigh stretch. So, okay, just gently allow your knees to fall down to the side. If you want to put something underneath them, that helps. You can open your feet up like a book. And again, inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold, and you can place your elbows right into there. And just keep your back and your neck flat and in line with each other. Lead with your belly and your heart rather than your chin. And then you just roll forward, so you get that deep inner thigh stretch. Oh, I can feel it right in the outer glute, gluteus minimus and medius. Now, place your hands underneath your knees as you inhale to come up with the flat back, gently, because it's going to be a bit sticky. Place your hands under your knees and gently close your knees like a book. I'm going to come into shoelace pose, which also is a TFL-IT band stretch. There's two options with the shoelace pose. You take one leg straight, always flex your feet, and you place the other leg on top, so the knees are stacked on top of the knees, okay? And that's one option, that's half shoelace, okay? Really good stretch for running and cycling. It's a really good outer hip stretch as well. If you want to go into the full stretch, if that's available to you, depending on how you feel today, you've always got the options. The bottom leg is bent so that your heels are either side of your hips, like so. But you must make sure that both your bum cheeks are on the floor. If your bum cheek's not on the floor, because there's all sorts of things going on, have your bottom leg straight. And then come into your fold. If you want to make this into a cow face pose, okay, you can take opposite arm, bend it so the elbow's going up towards the ceiling, using that other hand, and you gently with the opposite hand pull it across, so you're coming into cow face, and you're coming into the cow face pose, and lean forward with a flat back and stretch. And stay there, or just do what I do. I just stay here for a few moments, propping myself up. As you fold forward, you'll feel the outer hip stretch. Ooh, intense, like two tents together. It's deep, man, like Nietzsche. And inhale to come up with a flat back. Oh. And let's swap opposite side. So, straighten out your bottom leg. Okay, and then the other. So you've changed the so knees on top of each other. You either go like that, okay. Do your cow face version, fold, leading with your chest, with a flat back, or you bring both heels either side of your hips with both your bum cheeks on the floor. There's a lot going on, isn't there? And also there's always bits getting in the way. So you can come forward like so, or you can come into your full Gukhamasana cow face pose. Oh, feeling that outer hip there. Intense. And don't forget to breathe through it. Nice deep inhales, nice deep exhales. Remember, we're only meant to be doing balance between effort and ease. 60% effort. There should be never any pain involved when you do yoga. We want to get to the edge of our comfort zone because that's where expansion and growth in our lives begin, but we don't want to push past it. We want to get to the edge and then release. Oh, I'm losing my edge. Oh, lovely. And then, oof, let's just tap our legs out a little bit just so they've not got numb. I'm losing my edge. Oh, feel that deepness. Okay, so let's do some more stretches then to get into that deep psoas release as well. A lot of hips and psoas, psoas kind of thing going on here. It's intense stuff. Okay then, so reverse tabletop is a nice deep version of getting into the iliac psoas. So as you're coming into tabletop, you've got your feet hip distance, okay, knees bent, fingers pointing towards your hips. And the trick is to really squeeze your shoulder blades together as you push your chest through. So big inhale to prepare, and exhale, lift your glutes as high as possible, lift your hip points. Be careful with dropping your neck back and just hold. Really squeeze your shoulder blades together. 3, 2, and 1. And very, very slowly release. And then bring yourselves to just drape over your knees into a counter position. And then we're going to come into bridge pose. So another deep stretch of the front side of the body. So feet parallel like train tracks again. I always find that putting a block between my thighs prevents them from allowing if you've got IT band syndrome, my thighs from rolling out. You really need to roll your thighs in and down. Okay, don't worry if you can't tickle your heels. Okay, the trick is to keep your feet parallel like train tracks. Okay, and lift on the exhale. So Pressing down into your big toe and the big toe mound and squeezing the block. On the exhale, lift your hip points, your ASISs, as high as you can, squeezing your glutes, and then roll onto the outer edges of your arms and interlace your fingers and squeeze your shoulder blades together so that you push your chest up towards your chin. Really squeeze that block and really squeeze into the big toe to work on the inner thigh muscles and the pelvic floor. Okay, and then very, very slowly release your arms and slowly, one vertebrae at a time until your hips get to the floor, and then squeeze your knees in towards your chest. Oh, feel that release there. And just come into a little bit more of a psoas stretch as well. We did the standing pigeon, didn't we? We're going to do like a pigeon bridge. So place one ankle, I place my left ankle on my knee like that, okay, and your knee needs to be going away from you rather than to you. So place your arms either side. So nice big inhale to prepare, and on the exhale, lift your hips as high as possible. Keep dropping that knee down and keeping these hip points level. Lift, 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 lift. This is you'll really, and squeeze your glutes and really push your chest up. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And slowly release down on the inhale. Then take your arms out into a T position and then drop this top foot all the way over. So I'm dropping my left foot all the way over to the right, to the opposite side. So you're just coming into, and then make your arms cactus arms, and you're coming into a deep psoas stretch down that left side. So if your arms are in cactus position with your elbows in line with your shoulders and your fingers touching the floor, if that feels available to you, you're getting that stretch down that psoas muscle there. This part of the class is definitely will bring you down into a much more relaxed state. And then let's just come back to centre, and then let's cross the opposite leg on top of that left thigh. So again, we're going to lift on the exhale, keep pulling your ribs in, core strong, nice and firm there. That's all paid for, by the way, with potatoes. Okay, flex that foot, keep that knee going away from the head. Big exhale as you lift, 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 lift. Keep that knee dropping down. Keep these ASISs tucked in. Tuck in your lower ribs, don't let them pop out. Strong core. Lift. 3 and 2 and 1, and drop the thighs. Oh, okay, take your arms into cactus arms, so we come into that deep stretch on the opposite side. So we're dropping my right foot all the way over to the left. Keep my shoulders flat to the floor, so I get a deep psoas stretch down the right side of my body. Psoas release. They call it the muscle of the soul, and they talk about it as being storing all your emotional tension. We can't make generalisations. I mean, I probably store all my tension in my big toe. I was joking. I've got junk in my toe. I know my psoas is a bit tight, because if you get a clunky sound sometimes, clunk, or ping, whenever you lift your leg like that, I do it, clunk, tight psoas. There you go. It's just clinky, clinky, clonky. Okay, and then come back to centre, and then squeeze your knees in towards your chest, and just do a nice massage and just rock from side to side. Incredibly tight psoas. Because I think I've made it too strong and I have not stretched it enough, probably. I can lift my leg really high. But boy, isn't half clunk. Sit-ups are terrible. It's like clink clonk, clink clonk, clink clonk. I don't do sit-ups really, because they're horrible. But if I'm doing like these, if I'm doing leg flutters like that, it just clicks. Horrible. I'm working my core. I like working my core. I do core work every day. got an 18 pack. No, I haven't. Got plenty of rolls. Okay then, my lovelies. So, let's get ready for Shavasana. So, I'd love to invite you, when you're ready, to get down on your back or on your front, legs slightly apart, arms away from the body. Eye mask, blankets, pillows, whatever you need to feel comfortable. And I'll guide you through this as you lay and just listen to the sound of my voice. Eyes closed or soft gaze. So, we're going to tune into the body. And this is a really good somatic practice relaxation here, which is really good for being in freeze, flop, stuck mode when you feel very demotivated during lockdown. So, just inviting you to check in now with your breath and see if you can allow that to become smooth but consciously aware of it. Nice deep inhales, nice deep exhales. Become aware of all points of contact between your body and the floor. And become aware of sounds. And sense these anchors of your body, where you are here and now. We're going to do a spaces between the bones guided relaxation so that each part and your organs become individually apparent. A sense of fluidity as it circulates around and beneath all of the joints. So bring your awareness now to the back side of your body and become aware of your toes. Become aware of the spaces between the joints of your toes and the spaces between your toes. And imagine a golden light pouring in around the joint, making them feel light and easy, relaxed and free. And now come aware of your ankle bones. Sense your ankle bones and the spaces between them. Again, imagine a golden light pouring into this space, feeling light and easy and free and relaxed. Move upwards to your knees and allow your attention to circle around the front and the back of the knee joint. Pouring in this golden light, softening, warming, relaxing, smoothing. And bring the attention up to the joint of the hips, where the femur, the top of your leg, goes into your hip socket. Imagine the space between the bowl of the hip socket and the top of the femur bone. And a golden light pouring in, easy and free and relaxed, smoothing, fluid, easy. And then try to visualize the whole of the spine, from the bottom of the coccyx all the way up to the top, where it meets the skull. imagine that each vertebrae is like a golden coin, and between each of these there is golden fluid light circling in, around, underneath, softening and allowing the spine to feel easy, relaxed and free. Allow your attention now to circle in and around the complex area of the shoulder joint. It works so hard for you all day. See if you can visualize the spaces between the bones of the shoulder joint, the scapula, the top of the arm bone, the clavicle. And imagine a golden light pouring in, under, around, fluid circulating this complex area so it feels relaxed and free. Moving into the elbow area, allow your attention to circle the inner and outer so it feels so the joint feels relaxed and free. And now allow the attention to move into the wrist and the spaces between the bones in the wrist. Allow that space to feel fluid and free as you imagine that golden light is pouring into this space. And now become aware of all the spaces in the finger bones between each tiny little digit, and allow that idea of golden light pouring into and relaxing and making the fingers feel relaxed and free. And then finally become aware of where the neck meets the head, and become aware of the jaw, and sense the spaces between these places, and a golden light pouring in, imagining that these hinges that move up and down are soft, relaxed, fluid and free. Feel the solid density of your bones, the sinking down of layers of muscles and tissues into the soft organs beneath. Imagine visualizing warm, fluid sensations, liquid radiance. Feel the contact of the body against the floor. Feel the front side of the body facing the earth. Feel the right side of the body extended outwards, and the left side of the body extended to the left. And then imagine that a sense of radiance is extended in all directions, front, back, left and right. Become aware of breath Start to notice sounds and become aware of all points of contact between your body and the floor. A sense of touch awakening. Visualise your fingers and toes moving. And then start to give them a little wiggle. Move your head from left to right, from side to side. And when you feel ready, stretch. Do whatever you need to do right here, right now. The practice is now complete. Okay. Namaste, beautiful yogis.